Welcome to the latest update on the insider trader. And I know a lot of people have been wondering what the insiders are going to do now that the stock market is hitting an all-time high. You would think that not many people would be buying at the highs, but they are. So I'm pleased to report that now that earnings season is going on, we're starting to see the insiders come out to buy after the earnings reports, and we are getting some pretty juicy buys. Now remember, there's two types of insider buys. There's the kind that you get when the stock is at a new all-time high. This may seem counterintuitive, but some insiders want to buy on the high because things are going so well at the company that they think it's going to go even higher. This is rarer, but we have been seeing it lately. We saw it with Raytheon when the insider bought over there when those shares were hitting new highs, and to be frank, have been on a tear for a couple of years now. So that's a real positive sign. I like it when the insiders buy on that high, even though it is hard for us to buy just instinctively when we see the high, because we think, how much higher can it go? So when we have those instances, I know it's hard to fight your instincts not to buy it, but we're going to jump in when the insiders buy. That's the whole point of the service. So when they buy even on the highs, we follow them in. And hopefully they know that things are going to continue to go well and that those shares are going to go higher. Now, there's no guarantees, of course, but with the highs, you got to kind of like the momentum and you buy on that momentum. So, that's one way that we're getting the insider buys this season. And now I'm starting to see the other way, and those are the beaten down stocks. So I'm starting to see insider buys in the areas you would think. Retail, we're going to get more of that as it continues on. The restaurants, a lot of those have been beaten down, so some insiders are buying there. But we're also seeing it in some neglected areas. We continue to see insider buys in the banks, and this makes me excited. And if you've been in the portfolio for a while, you know we've owned the banks a lot over the last 2 years. A couple times we were in a little bit early, and then a couple times it's been a little bit shakier depending on what the Fed has been doing. But we had real good luck in 2016 buying the banks. They took off after the Fed started tightening, and then after the election results, we got real good pickup with the banks there. And then we had some luck again in 2017. We owned Flagstar, and the insiders bought again over there, even though it keeps rising, so they bought on the highs over there, and that worked out well. But I'm starting to see a few other insider buys, including in KeyCorp, which was one of our big holdings in 2016, and that soared. We took our gains out of it because the shares kind of didn't go anywhere anymore, and they've kind of stalled out, but the insiders are seeing another buying opportunity there, so they jumped in. So we got the banks, we've got the restaurants, retail, and of course energy. Now we've been in and out of the energy shares. I know it's been hard. It's hard to be the shorter term buyers in energy. So for that reason, I'm kind of staying out of them, even though the insiders continue to buy over there. As long as crude is at 50 or under 50, I feel like those shares are still going to continue to be weak. It's going to hit a low again at some point. Then I might consider getting back in there if the insiders are still diving in. So I'm watching those buys closely, and I'm going to try to pass along to you whenever I see those buys, so that if you're so inclined and you have a longer time horizon than what's in the insider trader, which is really only 1 to 3 months, give or take, depending on how things are going, we will hold longer. But with our shorter time horizon, things in the energy side might not be picking up that quickly. Also remember, the insiders, when they buy, they really have to hold at least 6 months. They can't sell within that 6-month time period. So that's shorter than what our time period is. So even though they're probably bullish about their own companies, they know that they may see a turnaround 6 months or a year or even longer out from when they're buying. We don't have that time period again, so that makes it a little bit shakier on some of the buys with us for the portfolio. But overall, insider buying is looking good. I'm excited about what I'm seeing. I think we're going to run here with the full portfolio. I like the mix of the stocks that we have, and I'm going to be looking again probably at another financial, because now we are without, except for E-Trade, any other like real community banks. And whatever else comes up, we're going to be buying some of those stocks on the highs like we did with Raytheon. And then other ones, we will be getting those kind of deal stocks where they're buying their beaten down shares. Because yes, there are still quite a few stocks like that. So if you have any questions about insider trading, of course, definitely send me an email at insidertrader@zacks.com, because I'm always there to answer any of the questions about what's going on in the portfolio. But I try to give those updates on all the stocks every earnings season so we know kind of what's going on. But always be ready to trade during the earnings season, because that's our big time. So we're in it right now, and I'm hoping to get a lot of new names in there. So we'll see. But otherwise, I'll be back again in another couple months with another update on what's actually going on in the world of insider trading. But if it stays this hot, I feel like I'm going to have a lot to talk about in a couple months again. So be sure to tune in.